Everyone, thank you for joining us. I'm Steve,
And I'm Scott.
and together we're Backyard Musings. We're the Science and Technology channel. We're not in the backyard right now. It's windy, so you'd hear a lot of wind. So we're each in our homes. It's a little bit chilly too. So we've had a lot of comments about, oh, this is great. I didn't know this. This is awesome. So if you think this content is awesome, go to our channel, which you're probably watching now, and then find your favorite video, whether it's Zealandia or archaeology or whatever, and share that with everybody that you have an email address with. Just share and start typing in email addresses. Okay. That's going to help us out because like we got some comments, science and technology is not covered pretty much by the mainstream media. It's just
Right.
not, just a few articles here and there. And there are so many interesting stuff. We have to comb through it and say, what do we think our viewers are going to like? And then we pick what we think you guys are going to like. Basically
Well,
what you like.
a great example of that is did anybody hear about the lunar landing the other day? I didn't hear anything in the mainstream media or get
Nothing
an
in
update
the mainstream.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And that's big. They landed on the moon. That's big. And they're doing tests.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's going to be. I would be willing to bet it's going to be within Trump's administration that we land men on the moon again. I think we will.
It'd be awesome if we could get to Mars in the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Just to get over there and, check it out. Put boots on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, folks, we got a really interesting one today. Defense tech startup Epirus, Epirus, secured another $250 million in a Series D funding round, which was announced Wednesday, bringing its total venture funding to over $550 million. A new high-powered microwave system that can knock swarms of drones out of the sky at once is going to, quote, touch every aspect of warfare, according to Epirus founder Joe Lonsdale. Quote, this is going to touch every aspect of warfare over the next decade, said Lonsdale. We can knock down some pretty advanced drones. Would you like to know more?
Epirus Leonidas system is a ground-based directed energy weapon that fires off an electromagnetic pulse to disable swarms of drones, or it can neutralize precision targets. The company aims to help the military shift away from a one-to-one mindset to a one-to-many way of thinking for short-range defense, according to CEO Andy Lowry. Quote, it's kind of like a Star Trek shield. Lonsdale, founder of Epirus and a co-founder of fast-rising defense technology company Planeteer, explained of its Leonidas counter-drone system. Quote, it's able to turn them off from very far away, which, I mean, what happens if that happens? They just fall out of the sky?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, if it's an EMP blast, then their electronics are fried and they fall out of the sky. So we've seen this in Ukraine. They've used drone swarms, both Russia and Ukraine, to attack each other, and they bring bombs with them, and it's becoming a mainstream method of battle.
Okay, so that scenario I just painted out, if they fall from the sky and they're carrying a bomb, that bomb is still going to be active, right? Still be.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess they would have to be pretty strategic about where they knock these things out. They wouldn't want to knock them out over a city or, what would you, like a reservoir or electric grid or something like that. They'd have to be pretty strategic, I think. So
yeah. Plus, when it gets, let's say it doesn't detonate, now you've got an unexploded ordnance on the ground. You've got to go neutralize before some kid kicks it and blows his leg off.
Yeah. So, but this is pretty interesting stuff here.
Very interesting. Drone swarms have been a key frontline tactic in the Russia-Ukraine war because most defense systems are designed to take out one unmanned vehicle at a time. Additionally, in the Middle East, the U.S. has been using multi-million-dollar missiles to shoot down Houthi drones that are built for around 2,000 or less. That is crazy.
Yeah, that's not a good trade-off there.
Right.
Quote, swarms of drones is where war is going, and currently you have swarms of drones that are very expensive and very difficult to stop, says Lonsdale. Continuing with the quote, "It's not just drones. There are all sorts of different types of uses for this," he added, predicting that one day the technology might be deployed to freeze up planes in the sky and protect satellites. The technology has also been successful in Defense Department tests on boat motors and other electronics, according to the company. So, yeah, so you're tracing a smuggler, you're tracking a smuggler, and they won't stop. And maybe it could become ugly. Maybe they turn into a kamikaze. You could just shut down that motor. This is good. This is good stuff.
What about we talked about submarines a couple days ago. What about this being a weapon against submarines and you just stop them in their tracks?
Yeah.
Deploy the weapon and boom, it stops that submarine.
Yeah, I wonder if it would work underwater. That would be interesting.
Okay, Representative Rob Whitman, Vice Chair of the House Armed Services Committee, warned that the U.S. needs to quote unquote run to play catch up with its adversaries in the counter UAS space. Quote, "We're not doing what we need to do," he told Fox News Digital on the sidelines of the National Security Innovation Base Summit in Washington, D.C. Continuing the quote, "We have failed miserably at counter UAS. We do okay in CENTCOM, Central Command, but in places like Langley Air Force Base, we are not where we need to be," end quote.
Dozens of drones hovered over Langley for over 2 weeks in 2023, and lawmakers say they still have not been provided with an explanation. Epirus won a $66 million contract in 20. That just seems like so low. In 2023 to supply its Leonidas to the U.S. Army. And the technology is believed to be in the testing phase by Central Command, which oversees the Middle East, according to comments that Army Chief of Staff General Randy George made to Congress last year. So, yeah, we need to, like this guy said, we need to play catch up here.
Yeah, at least it's not Bert and Ernie in Iraq. This is stuff that can help defend us.
Right.
Yeah. The rapid rise of unmanned aerial vehicles in war has prompted a defensive race to develop systems to counter them, like high-energy lasers and high-power microwaves. Quote, "We have a lot of people who are, coming into the Defense Department wanting to embrace new technologies," said Lonsdale. Continuing the quote, "They're really excited about this. The defense entrepreneur suggested there is tons of waste in the Pentagon that could be repurposed for new technologies." Yep.
There's a ton of cronyism. We're seeing tens of or even hundreds of billions of dollars you could pull out, depending on how aggressive you want to be. And these should be put into cutting edge technologies that actually deter enemies. Epirus was developed or was valued at $1.35 billion when it raised $200 million in Series C funding, but the company did not disclose its valuation for this round. The California-based company will use the new cash influx to expand in international and commercial markets and expand manufacturing in the U.S. The company is also planning to open a new simulation center in Oklahoma to train soldiers in counter-drone warfare. So that's a quote, all that a quote. So
yeah, Fort Sill, Oklahoma is the electronic warfare center for the Army, so it makes perfect sense that you do this at Fort Sill in Oklahoma. Perfect sense.
Okay. All right.
This is awesome. This is promising.
Yeah, this kind of goes along with that stuff that Ronald Reagan came up with, right? The Star Wars defense.
Star Wars defense, yeah.
Yeah.
That was lasers, I think.
Right, but you can hit them, way far away. That's, we like that, right? The farther out, the better.
Yep. So, all right, folks, thanks for joining us. We'll see you in the morning.
Take care, everyone. Thanks.